Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another petty revenge Reddit video. The dog that would not stop barking and how I got him to stop. My neighbors got a dog about 3 years ago. These neighbors and I share a fence. It separates our backyards. Well, this dog snarls and barks and tries to bite me through the fence the entire time I'm out in the backyard. I've tried to ignore it, talk softly, etc., but this dog is insane. The maintenance guys are afraid of it. So I went and did the neighborly thing and asked them to help me figure out how to get this dog to chill. I can't even use my yard at this point. That dog is outside all day long, snarling and yapping non-stop. I asked if I could give it healthy treats through the fence. The owner says no. I asked if we could go in halves on a non-shock bark collar. The owner says no. I asked the neighbor at least 3 times to help her dog. Frustrated, but not willing to call animal control or anything yet, I hatched a plan. I bought a very nice portable speaker that is loud. Like I saved and invested in this. Now, every time I go to my backyard, I bring my speaker. There is no daytime noise ordinance here. I checked. When the dog begins its snarling, barking, attacking the fence thing, my neighbors, all of them, get to enjoy a little Lamb of God or Rotting Christ or some other great music turned all the way up. My speaker shakes the table. It didn't take the neighbors long to put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, they figured it out quick, because they'd poke their head out of their door to glare at me and the dog would run inside, so I'd wave and turn my music off immediately. If the dog didn't bark, I wouldn't play it. If it barked, I'd turn it back on. The dog is now kept mostly inside, and when it does come out, it's quick or the owner goes out with it. Mwahahaha. The neighborhood is wonderfully quiet nowadays. Public service announcement: do not give dogs any type of human medication like laxatives or NyQuil. This can seriously harm and even kill an animal. Also, the speaker is a portable PA system from JYX, if anyone is interested. It was under $200, but I'm poor, so I had to save for a bit. It sounds great for the money though. I'm impressed, and so are my neighbors. Steal my dinner? I'm going to minorly inconvenience you. Friday night, my wife ordered a takeaway for delivery for us. An hour and a half later, it hadn't arrived. She called the shop and they were surprised. They said they delivered it a while ago. Turns out they delivered it to the wrong house. Long story short, our road turns into a different road partway down. It's rare, but stuff can go wrong. It doesn't usually happen because you have to go past our house to get there. Rather than say we didn't order anything and check the address, they took in the food and ate it. The delivery driver went round and asked them before delivering the new order to us again. When asked why he took it if he didn't order it, he said, "I don't know." The delivery place was great. Granted, they made a small mistake, but the guy at the other house shouldn't have taken it in. This meant we didn't get our food for 2 hours after ordering. They were very apologetic. I was very angry and wanted to confront the guy, but decided against it. I contemplated my revenge. Everything from emptying our dog poo bin in front of their door to putting a brick through their window. I quickly realized this was overkill. I went out with some friends and told them the story, and one of them suggested something great. Post a jiffy bag with a note in it to them without any postage. This will mean they will get a notification from the post office saying there is a letter. They will have to go down to pay the postage and pick the letter up. In it will be a note asking them if they enjoyed my kebab. I feel this is sufficiently petty and will give me a nice feeling of satisfaction. Sorry dude, you lied to the landlord, so no, you cannot come play my new Xbox. I had an opportunity last week to purchase an Xbox Series 10 from Best Buy, so I jumped on it and was finally able to pick it up Tuesday after having to wait a week for it. A few weeks before that, our next door neighbor in our duplex knocked on our door and accused us of smoking weed in our house, and apparently a lot of it. That his house was smelling like a bong, and his mother, who he lives with, shouldn't have to smell it. I informed him that A, we don't smoke, and B, we live in a completely legalized state. There are other people around us who smoke outside and even grow it, so if his house stinks, then it's more than likely from other neighbors. Then I shut the door in his face. The next day I got a text from the landlord that said the neighbors had complained. The landlord wanted my side of what happened, and she reminded me that any kind of smoking in the unit was violating our lease and was grounds for eviction. So I told her that the neighbor was pretty rude to me and made a big, huge accusation about something he was totally wrong about. I reassured the landlord that we have not ever smoked in the house and don't smoke because my job and my significant other's job requires random drug tests. I also took the time to tell the landlord that the neighbor smokes cigarettes right by our front door and the smell seeps into my house, and I was tired of it. My landlord said she would tell him he has to stand no less than 10 feet away from the building from now on, which means he can't stand under the carports and smoke. Tuesday, I picked up my Xbox Series 10 from Best Buy, and as I'm pulling into the carport, I see dudes smoking under the carport, clearly not caring that the landlord told him not to. He sees me and his eyes light up once he realizes I have the new Xbox in my hands, and he says, "OMG, how did you get that? Can I come over and see it and play it once you get it set up?" I looked at him and said, "Yeah, no. Remember a couple of weeks ago you tried to tell the landlord we were smoking pot in our house? You lied to her and almost got us evicted. Well, because of that incident, I would just rather you not come into my house ever." And I walked inside. I'm pretty sure I saw a tear under his eye before I closed the door. Don't pay me for lunch? I'll take the money myself. When I first started working in an office at 18, I was a lot more shy and reserved. The CEO at the time would always ask me to get her lunch, order it in, pick it up, but basically would never pay me back. It was my first job, the first rung on my career ladder. I was shy and had anxiety, so I just felt like saying no to the CEO wasn't possible. I couldn't afford to be feeding her. I'd ask her to pay, but it would take me asking her 3 or 4 times before she would pay. By that point, I'd have already bought her more lunches. Then I found her change drawer. It was a drawer filled with coins. It was where she would put any change that came her way. So I started paying myself back by taking the money in the drawer. She would use the coins for parking at work, but I assumed she didn't know exactly how much was in it. Basically, one day she ran out of coins for parking. It had happened a lot quicker than it would have had she just paid me back for the lunches. She then decided to just not pay for parking that day, assuming that she wouldn't get caught. She had to pay a £40 parking fine. Thankfully, it's now 7 years later and I'm a long way away from the person I used to be. I'm no longer with that company now, but I know that if this happened to me today, I would respond to it very differently. This is John from Slashbash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, well, now is the time to subscribe. I would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.